Hello, for those who don't know me, my name is Renika and I'm an artist. And if you're not new to my channel, thank you for returning back. Today, I'll be drawing a little mirror while I'll be talking about taking accountability without self-deprecation. Now, this topic is very important to me, not saying that the other topics haven't been. However, this is an area in my life I still struggle to deal with. If I make a mistake at my work or in a club as a officer of a club or any professional setting where I have to step up and be a leader, if I make a mistake if I just make mistakes in general and it can possibly be an inconvenience to somebody else, I can't help but to go into self-pity mode almost. Just like, how could I be so stupid? Or, I'm an idiot. I just really start self-loathing, saying some really mean words to myself. And then that makes me feel even worse because I'm like, oh, I should be focusing on taking accountability without feeling bad for myself. Like, I want to be able to feel guilty and move on. And that's what I struggle with. Like, I know I can do better. And I will do better. However, it's just like I take account of all my mistakes. So if I make one mistake, I feel like I have to do 10 things to make up for it, which I know is not fair because I wouldn't do that to my friend. I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, she accidentally forgot this thing. She accidentally forgot our meeting, or she arrived late. I'm not going to be like, okay, she needs to do 20 things to make up for it, especially if, it was unintentional, or something came up, like, cause that's my friend. So just learning that with myself, and I apologize if you hear any other noise. Now, I want to say it has something to do with my Christian upbringing of like thinking that I have to be perfect, or maybe it's my upbringing as the oldest. Maybe it's my upbringing of like being born a leader and my mistakes weren't treated as simple things. It could be a lot of factors, but at the end of the day, this is something I struggle with and I need to get over it. Like, I want to be able to make a mistake, like, oh, I dropped this, I'm sorry, I apologize, it won't happen again, or I'll do my best to not make it happen again, and then immediately forget about it. Not like, well, let me just say, I want to be able to be like, hey, I made a mistake today, that's it, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to forget that mistake per se today, but I'm not going to dwell on it, which is hard for me to do. Especially with my personality, because I don't want to say can be very extreme. It's just like, I'm either like, I go full, if I take accountability, to me, that's like, I go all in with it. Like, if I make a mistake and I need correction, I go all in. That correction involves punishing myself, being strict or mean to myself in a way. Versus if I don't take accountability, oh, it's not my fault, that's it, that's all, then I forget about it. Which is like, no, as a human being, it's not black or white. Sometimes there are gray areas, and I just need to remember that. Like, I can take accountability without hating myself. And also, sometimes when it comes to making mistakes, especially when it comes to people, if they're not dwelling on it, why should you? This is not me saying like, oh, you shouldn't apologize or take accountability. This is just me saying of like, if they're not like constantly bringing it up, why should you? In fact, bringing it up constantly can make things worse. Of like, oh, I'm so sorry I did this to you, I'm so sorry. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but I know it can definitely make the situation worse, to where it's like you're making it about you and less about how that person feels. And also, if they're telling you, hey, let it go, respect that. I don't know if that's a boundary thing of being like, hey, I told you to let it go, please respect that. I think that's a boundary thing. That's definitely a boundary thing of like, hey, if I let it go, please let it go, because I don't want to constantly hear about it, because then it can sound like whining, I guess. This is not me trying to come off as judgmental with, again, this is not me trying to be judgmental. I'm just trying to be straightforward and to talk about my experiences that will hopefully help someone else. And I'm learning when it comes to mistakes, yes, you made them, but when it comes to taking accountability, don't focus on you. Try not to think about how that affects that person and then how you will react in their shoes. No, I'm messing up my words. What do I want to say? Like, yeah, it's not really about you per se. Don't take it personal. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. If you've done a good job in the past and you're constantly working in this one thing doesn't defy you your whole career, especially if it's one simple mistake and it's not life or death, I would say. I just also want to add, this is my opinion. These are my experiences. Any advice I give can be taken with a grain of salt, because I know some things you just got to experience for yourself, and any advice I give may work for me, but it may not work for you, or this is just a reflection of me per se. So don't feel like you have to follow my lead. You have to act like I do, or maybe this video doesn't relate to you at all. Anyway, yeah, what I'm learning is like not to take it personal of like, hey, they're not saying I'm a bad person. They're not saying I'm an evil person for making a mistake, because I could have done a lot of worse things, you know. So I would say for me, I'm going to start doing that more of like, hey, it could have been worse. Is it fixable? And if it's not, is there anything I can do to not only take accountability, but lessen the damage or clean it up, if that makes sense, so the impact is not as bad, I would say. Yeah, see if there is anything I do, and if it's out of my control, accept that it's out of my control, and just compare it to what other things. Like, if I can't control the weather, then I know it's not the same. I can't control the weather. I can't control people's actions. So what makes me think that I can control their feelings, which I cannot? Just because I may have felt differently in that situation doesn't mean that what they feel is automatically wrong, you know, and understand that that person has every right to react to how they want to a mistake that may have negatively impacted them. Sorry, can't talk. And let's say it's just like, even at your job, if you are not fired from it for your mistake, you know, keep going. Tell your boss how you're going to do different. Have a plan of action instead of dwelling on, change that. I want to say change that shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, what steps can I implement now so it doesn't happen again? Or what steps can I implement so if it might happen again with someone else, the damage is lessened? That is not the word. Can I not? English is my first language, and apparently I can't speak it properly. The damage is not lessened, which is the damage is decreased? No. The damage is not as bad. Let me just say that, because I don't know what word I'm shooting for. And I hope you are able to understand this rambling. Also, I know some people may not want to think this way, but know that I was going to say, like, taking accountability and then immediately going into self-deprecation can make people see you in a negative light. But that fact, that statement can make you, in fact, make you feel worse. Of like, oh, they're probably going to think I'm bad, because it's just like, so scratch that. So I would say when you catch yourself, or when I catch myself saying those things. I'll be like, stop, this is not helpful. This is not going to help me be a better person. This is not going to help me be a better worker, a better whatever to this person. So let me just stop. This is not helpful at all to me, and it's definitely not helpful for them. Now, let's just say you messed up someone's order. Saying over and over, oh, I'm a bad waitress, I'm a bad person, is not going to fix the fact that you got their order wrong. It's not going to make them feel better. In fact, they may or may not, but it's just like, now they're like, should I comfort this person? Am I supposed to? Yeah, like, they should be like, not comfort me, but yeah, they should reassure. Yeah, they should reassure me in a way. Why am I reassuring the person who made the mistake? Another thing I will try to remember is that this is not the first mistake I've made, and this is not the last mistake I will make. And also, just think about how far I've come. Like, for example, I'm a senior in college. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I still have a lot of great things going for me. So therefore, that doesn't mean that making one mistake will end my career permanently or will end my life. I know this may vary for other people, of course, but this is just for me personally. With certain mistakes, depending on how, not the validity of them, but the impact of them. I'll just say that word. Yeah, like, let's just say, like, I messed up someone's order at a restaurant. That is not going to impact my college career, possibly. This is not me saying, like, oh, you shouldn't care about your mistakes. This is just me saying, again, it's all about finding a balance. Same thing with when it comes to being an artist. Let's just say you made a mistake with someone's order. It does not impact how you are as an artist. It may impact that person's experience, but your reaction to it can definitely help how they see you. Again, if you're just going into woe is me, I did this, and they have to reassure you, that can definitely deter them away from recommending you to someone or just buying from you again. Also, another point to add, another thing that will be helpful for anyone struggling with this, get therapy. And this is not me trying to be funny, it's just, for me, it's just like, it's one thing to constantly remind yourself of what you need to do to not do it's one thing to talk about steps you need to take so you will stop going to the self-pity, self-hating attitude when you make a mistake. It's a whole nother thing to get someone's perspective on it, especially an outside perspective that doesn't know you at all, but is still a human being that understands that human beings are complex, that they have various feelings and emotions and just reactions and ways of thinking. So definitely consider going to therapy so that you can also find ways and steps to put in place so that you will do it less and less. I'll say, also, again, I'm repeating myself, but get in the habit of stopping yourself, changing your wording. If you're going into self-loathing, catch yourself and be like, wait, what am I doing? Change it. That habit can definitely go away, I would say, in the long run. You will start to do it less and less. I'm not going to say you're going to completely stop doing it. Maybe you will. But I'm just saying, again, you'll be able to do it less and less with that habit. Also, when it comes to this topic, it makes me think of people who are sensitive and caring. I just want to say, it is okay if you are sensitive. It is okay if you are caring. I know there's some people who will be like, oh, I don't care at all. That's fine too. But if you don't want to be the person who doesn't care at all, like if you want to be someone who cares without that aspect, you can still be that person. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. It's not coming to mind. You know, it's just like don't change who you are. Let me say that. Don't change who you are based on who people think you should be. You know, if people be like, oh, you shouldn't care at all, just like me. You don't have to. You can be caring, you can be sensitive without being self-loathing after you make a mistake. But as this video is coming to an end, I just want to reiterate and emphasize the importance when it comes to making a mistake. Professional, personal, I'll start with the professional. If it's a professional mistake, it's not about you. Like, yes, it's about your actions, but it's not always about your character. It doesn't automatically make you a bad person. It doesn't make you an evil person just because you made a mistake. Again, if that mistake is not life or death. There's There's many layers to this conversation. And I hope you are able to find some relatability, some good advice that you may be able to let it apply to you or help you find your way. And again, let me reiterate. Oh my gosh, can I talk? Let me reiterate. Please go seek therapy. Please seek therapy. Especially if it's coming to a point where you see that dangerous habits are started to form because you were not able to take accountability without self-loathing, without self-hating. Please seek therapy. Get some help. Because once you get into those bad habits, that'll be even harder to get out of, I would say. But I hope you got something from this video. The flowers in this drawing are not the best, but I still like it overall. Thank you for checking out my channel. Let me know your comments. Comment, obviously. Let me know your thoughts. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Bye.